Hello, it's Thursday. So a couple of weeks ago we were playing around with pattern hacking and I did make a little sheep. Now I included the pattern for the sheep in the video, but since then I've gotten a lot of questions about how I made this sheep, and so I thought let's just make it its own video so folks can find it if they want to. So today we're going to make a little sheep. Okay, so for today's project you're going to need DK or 8-ply 100% acrylic yarn in at least one colour, but I made my first one in black and white. But for the sake of being able to actually see what I'm doing today, I'm going to be making a green sheep. Because in my generation, if one question was ingrained in us, it is, where is green sheep? Well, today we're going to answer that question. You're also going to need a 3.5mm hook, pins and needles, scissors, a little bit of stuffing that I'm not bothering to show on screen here because it's white on white and you won't be able to see it anyway. And you can also use a pair of 9mm safety eyes. It's what I've used on this fella, but I will be just embroidering my eyes for today on my green sheep. But that's it. Okay, so for today we are going to start by making the piece that I think is causing the most problems for people, and that is the big squishy potato of a body. You'll see that it has this delightful bobbly texture all over it, and that I think is where people are getting stuck. So let's deal with that first. So for this body, every second stitch is going to be a treble crochet, and that's how we build these little bobbles. Now that makes notation a nightmare, so it is just written out in its simplest, most legible form, which just uses single crochets, increases and decreases. Now what this will mean is that increases will always consist of one single crochet and one treble crochet, and whenever you do a decrease, it may or may not be a treble crochet decrease. And so we're going to be looking at a variety of stitches as we go today. So our little sheepy starts with a magic ring. And then you can see that it's 6 single crochet. So what that means is we're going to replace every second stitch with a treble crochet to build our texture. So our first stitch is a single crochet. Our second stitch is going to be a treble crochet, which is when we yarn over twice, insert our hook into the stitch, or in this case the magic ring. We yarn over and pull up a loop. So we have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through the first 2, yarn over and pull through the second 2, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. So there is our first treble crochet and the first 2 stitches in our starting magic ring. And we're going to alternate between these 2 stitches until we've worked 6 stitches in total. So single crochet, treble crochet, single crochet, treble crochet, and I'm going to tighten my magic ring. So there we go. That's the start of our little sheep body, and you should have 3 little bobbles forming it. Our final stitch was a treble crochet, so we'll be starting the next row with a single crochet. So row 2 is 3 repeats of a stitch and then an increase. So we're going to work a single crochet. Then we have our first increase, which is going to be worked as a treble crochet, and then a single crochet into the same stitch. So that's our first repeat, and we've got 2 more of those to go. So the second one starts with a treble crochet, and then a single crochet and a treble crochet into the same stitch. You see how the order changed there? But it's still 1 single crochet and 1 treble crochet into the same stitch to form the increase. And then 1 more worked as a single crochet, and then a treble crochet, and a single crochet into the same stitch. So there we are at the end of row 2. And you should have 9 stitches available in your round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I do. Row 3 starts with an increase. Then 3 repeats of a stitch and then 3 stitches into the same stitch. So once again, keep in mind, I'm going to put it on the screen, every second stitch has to be a treble crochet. So our first repeat starts with a treble crochet, and then we have our 3 single crochet into the same stitch, and we're going to work that as a single crochet, a treble crochet, and a single crochet. There's our first one, and we have 2 more of those to work. Funnily enough, just thanks to the rotation, they will look the same each time. And then we have 2 stitches to finish. So the first one will be a treble crochet, and the second one will be a single crochet. There we go. So that's what our little sheep butt should look like. And we should have 16 stitches in our round at this point. Row 4 starts with 3 stitches into the same stitch. And because we finished the last row with a single crochet, we're going to start this row with a treble crochet. By now you should be getting the hang of it a little bit. It becomes second nature after a while. After a while you'll do it without thinking it, and then it'll become a problem for any other projects that you're working on. We then are going to work 2 stitches. So the first one's a single crochet, the second one's a treble crochet, then 3 stitches into the same stitch, two repeats of 3 stitches and an increase. So 1, 2, 3, and then this first increase is a single crochet and then a treble. That's our first repeat, and then we have to do it again. So 1, 2, 3, and then an increase. This time it's a treble crochet and then a single crochet. Finally, there's just 4 stitches back to the start of our row. So there we are at the end of row 4, and we should have 22 stitches in our round. And you'll note that you have a higgledy-piggledy texture here. Sometimes your stitches are lining up into little straights, and sometimes they're a little bit all over the place. That's good. We want it to look scrubby in texture. So row 5 is the last truly difficult row of this, in my opinion. So it starts with 2 increases. So 1, and 2. Then we have 3 stitches. First one's a treble, then a single, then another treble, three more increases, one, two, then 4 stitches, starting with a single crochet, then a treble, and I'm trying to remind you of which stitch I'm up to along the way, just so that you can make sure that you're calibrated correctly. A single crochet, and a treble, an increase, three stitches starting with a single crochet, then a treble, then a single crochet, an increase, four stitches starting with a treble, so treble, single, treble, single, and then the last stitch of our round is an increase. Which should bring you up to 30 stitches in your round. And at this point here, pat yourself on the back. The real work begins, but it's less mental work, I think, at this point. So what this next section looks like is 7 rows of 30 stitches around. So for row 6, we're going to work 30 stitches around, starting with a treble crochet and making sure that we are working a single crochet and then a treble crochet and then a single crochet and then a treble crochet. You get the idea. So it's stitch 29 and then stitch 30 should be a single crochet. So then row 7 is 30 stitches around as well. But because we finished row 6 with a single crochet, we're going to start row 7 with a single crochet, which is what's going to help our floofs be nice and like alternated as we move up through the body so that we don't end up with anything in any straight lines. So I've worked my first single crochet there, and now I'm going to work a treble. And yeah, that sets us off. We're just going to basically be working single crochets in the trebles and treble crochets in the singles. Which brings us back to the start of our round. And we finish with a treble crochet. So there we are at the end of round 7. So this does continue on for 5 more rows, and all you really need to do is remember that you need to work a treble crochet wherever there's a single crochet and a single crochet into every treble crochet. So here we are at the start of row 8. We can see that even though we have just worked a treble crochet, the next stitch we're working into was a single crochet, so we're going to work a treble crochet again. And that kicks off row 8. So you can go ahead and work all the way to the end of row 12 now. You'll see there we should have this lovely like sort of diagonally pleasing bobbliness, and guys, it's squishy and wonderful, so you should just take a moment and like squish and enjoy. We only have like 4 rows to go. Sorry, we only not like 4 rows, we only have 4 rows to go, but it does bring us to the decrease portion of this pattern, which again can just be a little bit tricky the first time because we are still alternating single crochet and treble crochet. So row 13 starts with 2 decreases right off the bat. And row 12 ended with a single crochet, so we know that first decrease is supposed to be a treble crochet. So how do we do that? It's not hard. So there are 2 different ways that you can approach a decrease. So either way, we're going to yarn over twice for our treble. And then you've got standard decreases, which would be insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Insert your hook into the second stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, which should leave you with 4 loops still on your hook, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 at a time, just like you would with a regular treble crochet. So that first little bit is a decrease, and then there's a little treble sitting on top of it, like a hat. So that's the kind of the standard decrease way to do things. I prefer the invisible decrease way myself. So once again, we start by yarning over our hook twice, and then I am just going to pick up the front loops only of the 2 stitches I'm decreasing over. I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop through both of them, leaving me with 4 loops on my hook. And then I just complete it the way I would any other treble crochet, which I know you're familiar with if you've reached this point in the pattern, let's be real. So there is our first decrease, and the second decrease is just a single crochet decrease. So just work that however you please. We are then going to be working 3 stitches. So the first one's a treble, second one's a single, and last one's a treble. And then 3 more decreases. So the first one is a single crochet decrease. Second one is a treble crochet decrease. And third one is a single crochet decrease. Then 4 stitches, a decrease, which in this case happens to be a treble crochet decrease, three stitches. And blame the pig if this is complicated, because it's the pig's fault, and you'll have to watch the pattern hacking video if that statement confuses you, but it's the sheep is definitely the pig's fault. Okay, then a decrease, which is once again a treble decrease, 4 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then finally a decrease, and it's just a single crochet decrease. There we go. Now I will just say that realistically at this point, the head is going to cover up most of what's left. So you could stop alternating the treble crochets at this point if you would prefer to, or if your hands just can't take it anymore. I am going to be seeing this through. I'm going to be carrying on the treble nonsense. You probably / possibly don't have to, because it will be covered by Sir Sheepington's face. So keep that in mind. Okay, row 14 is going to start with a single crochet 3 together, and it also happens to be a treble crochet. See, remember when I told you didn't have to do this anymore? Well, now it's your choice. I'm making you choose to do this. So we're going to yarn over our hook twice, And single crochet 3 together is just a decrease over 3 stitches. So again, there is 2 different ways to work a decrease like that. The first is the standard way. We yarn over our hook twice because it's a treble decrease, right? Insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Insert your hook into the second stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. And then insert your hook into the third stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. We're then going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops that we just pulled up. So there's our little decrease, leaving you with 4 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 at a time to complete the treble crochet, once again sitting on top of the decrease like a little hat. Yeah, so that is the standard way to work a treble crochet 3 together. But here's how I'm going to be doing it today. Yarn over my hook twice, insert my hook through the front loops of the 3 stitches I'm decreasing over, yarn over and pull up a loop through those 3 loops, leaving 4 loops on my hook, and work my treble crochet. And there it is. See how nice and little the decrease looks, and the treble crochet is just hiding it really nicely. I like it. I like it a lot. We're then going to work 2 stitches. The first is a single crochet. I'm sorry, forgive the tone of voice. I'm just embracing how ridiculous this pattern is. The second one there is a treble. Then we're going to work another, although they're in the pattern as single crochet 3 togethers, and this one here is actually a single crochet 3 together. So however you prefer to work your decrease, now is the time. We are then going to work 2 repeats of 3 stitches and then a decrease. So the first of those stitches should be a treble. So 1, 2, and 3. And then a decrease. This is our first one, and we're going to do that again. 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. The stitch is in there somewhere. There we go. Little topiary sheep. He's our chia pet. We then have 4 stitches to go back to the start of our round. The first one should be a treble, if anybody is trying to keep track. There we go. So at this point, you should have 16 stitches in your round. 16, and I do. And I'm going to stop and stuff this. And you're going to want to stuff this pretty firmly. The aforementioned stuffing that doesn't show up against the desk at all. Squish. Yeah. You look like a sea cucumber. Blah. We're aiming for sheep, but at the moment we are looking sheep-ish. So we need to carry on. And at this point, I will be stopping the treble crochets every second row. So you officially have my permission to not do it anymore. Which makes for a 15 infinitely easier in that we're going to start with a decrease. Then 3 repeats of a single crochet. And then a single crochet 3 together. And then just 2 single crochet back to our starting point. Should leave you with 9 stitches in your round. And for row 16, we're just going to work 3 repeats of a single crochet and then a decrease. So 1 and 2 and got tangled up there, but 3. There we go, and finish off. Now, if you want to, you can use this extra tail to just like weave this opening shut, but the head is literally going to go over the top of it, so don't fuss with it too much. It's not really going to matter. Okay, there is it's delightful. It feels so yummy. But pop your nugget to one side. And we're going to make ourselves, ooh, do we want to do heads or legs next? Legs! We're going to do legs next. I'm going to be using green for mine. Use whatever colour is suitable for yours. And we are going to make a magic ring of 6. Like so. And then we're going to work 3 rows of 6 single crochet for a combined total of 18 stitches. So there is your first tiny sheepy foot, and you are going to need 3 more just like it. So pop those to one side. Okay, yeah, so next we're going to be making the head. Grabbing whatever yarn you would like to use to make your head. We're going to start once more with a magic ring of 6. Then we're going to just check that the camera's on. Ooh, it is! Then row 2 is 2 repeats of 3 single crochet into the same stitch. So 1, 2 and 3. Then a single crochet. And then 3 single crochet into the same stitch. So there's our first repeat, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And that should bring you up to 14 stitches in your round. And we're then going to work 6 rows of 14 single crochet around for a combined total of 84 stitches. So there we are at the end of row 8. We'll just take out the nose ring. And at this point, if you're using safety eyes, it is time to pop them in. I am not using them today, but it is in the spirit of things for me to show you where to put them. So we're going to count to row 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Just plonk an eye in. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Plonk an eye in. And you want them roughly on either side of the head, keeping in mind that these are not ambush predators and their eyes are on the sides of their heads, not the top. But honestly, just put the eyes wherever it's going to make you happiest. So that is where I would be putting mine today. And then I would snap the backs on. You can move them around a little bit to find the cute. Oh, do I want to use safety eyes today? Maybe I will. Maybe I will use safety eyes today. Never mind, you guys bullied me into it. And we're going to snap the backs on. Let's see if I can get you some good clicky sounds, shall we? Oh, I think that was pretty good. Ready for another? Yeah, we'll take it. And you can also stick a little bit of stuffing in there. About the amount that a pigeon would use to wipe up coffee. Bringing us to row 9, which is the final row for the head. So we're going to work 2 repeats of a single crochet 3 together, a single crochet, and then a single crochet 3 together. So there is our first repeat, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And just as a note, this is your final chance to really put any stuffing in there if you want to. There we go, and finish off. So this time I am going to use my remaining strand to weave this little opening shut, and I'm just going to pull it through the front loops of each of those remaining 6 stitches. 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Tuck it away inside of your little, well, I mean, mine looks like a little green tater tot. But yours, mine, will hopefully be looking slightly sheepier. There we go. So pop that to one side, and the last thing we need to make is a couple of tiny little ears. Easiest piece ever. So we're going to start by making a magic ring. Yeah, not like that. I'd say my muscle memory misfires about 25% of the time. So we start with a magic ring, and then into it we are going to work 3 single crochet. And then we're going to work a picot, and for this particular instance I am going to be working a 2-chain picot. So we chain once, we chain twice, pulling that second one quite tightly. And then I'm going to insert my hook back through the first chain and work a little slip stitch. And it gives you like this little knobbly bit, which just gives you like a point to the tip of your ear. Then working back into the magic ring, we're going to work 3 more single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and pull that magic ring tight, giving you the perfect little ear for, I find they're great for ponies and for sheep. Finish off. And I'm just going to tie the 2 tails together because it just helps lock that magic ring in place a little bit better. Sometimes it can work its way loose over time otherwise. A little double knot because we don't need to be fancy. That's 1, and you're going to do the same thing again. Exact same thing. There we go. 2 little ears. And that's all of our pieces made. So now we just have a little bit of assembly to do. So we're going to start by sheeping up this head a little bit. And I'm going to take a small amount of white. So just like with Bridget here, I'm going to add some whites to the outside edge of my eyes. So I'm going to anchor my yarn at the back here. And I'm just doing that by working a little stitch. Cool. Then up through the head and out near one of the corners of the eye. And yes, the irony of it being a round eye, and I just said the corner of the eye, isn't lost on me. And then let's see, how far down do I want the white to go? Probably to about there. Straight through to the other side, come out the same point. And gently pull it through and guide it into place as you go. There we go. So there's one little peeper, and we're going to do the other little peeper. They're sheeper peepers. There we go. Once again, I'm just going to end up back where we started and lock it in place with a little stitch. Okay, cute little eyes. And then we are going to grab a little bit of, I'm tempted to use just dark green for this. So I'm going to grab some dark green for me. Grab some black for yourself. I did it in white on this one here. We're going to do the little mouth and nose. So sheep have these lovely soft noses, little Y noses. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just look at, let's see, the top of row 2. And I'm going to use the gaps in those stitches to help me space this correctly. Right, we're having a right proper go at this. Okay, so I'm going to go across. I think you can see there that it's like 2.5 stitches. And down about 1 stitch into the middle. Not pulling that super tightly. So we're just going to pull our needle up and under it. Pull it down a little bit. And out through the middle of that magic ring. It's a little sheep nose. Oh, once again, you can lock it in place if you like. And trim off. Okay, so now our little sheep has eyes and a nose / mouth type situation. We are going to sew her little ears on. And they go like sort of on this back panel of the head, but you do want them sticking out the sides, not the top. See, the top isn't right, the side is how sheep ears do. Pin one there. And one in the same spot on the other side. There we go. And while we're at it, just to save ourselves a little bit of time here, that's where the head is going to go, right? And if you look carefully at the body, you might be able to spot the start and end of the rows, and you're going to want to make sure that that is positioned at the bottom. So the head will go over the top here, and the legs just need to be placed evenly on the bottom of your sheep so that your sheep can stand. There's no real rhyme or reason to this. There's no correct or incorrect number of rows. I'm just putting one leg at the front, one leg at the back. This is that changeover part of our rows, and if you can't tell where that falls, it doesn't matter, because if you can't tell when you're looking for it, you're not going to be able to tell when you're not looking for it. Excuse me, ma'am, I need to steal your earmuffs. There we go, that's the spacing I'm choosing to do on mine. The knobbles make it slightly difficult to tell how many stitches there are in between, but you get the idea here. You're just going to look at it and then you're going to give it a stand test. Passes the bat test, and the head will eventually go there, but we're not quite there yet. So then we're going to take a little bit of, I'm going to use my green for this, but notably I did use white on this one here. So use your body color to sew your legs to your body, and use your head color to sew the ears to the head. And don't forget to take a minute to weave all of your ends in. We do like to work a little bit neater around here, just for the sake of our sanity. Okay, and there are our little legs. Now the last thing we have to do is take this little puck of a head, and see the bald spot we left at the end of the body? The head goes over the top. Now, depending on what you want to do, you could put the head at the top. That is also a correct position for a sheep's head, but mine is designed to go directly over this bald spot. Just ram it on there. And stitch it on. And once attached, don't forget to give it the tug test to make it just doesn't just like fly off. I'm sure your sheep will appreciate. And there is your finished sheep. So, like I said, I am aware that I did include the pattern in the previous video, but I just thought that this might be a little bit easier for some of you to make some sense of. Now, the white and black one ends up being named Bridget, but I think we have to name this one Broccoli, because my goodness, this sheep looks like it's been rolling around in that mowed lawn all afternoon. So while I know this pattern wasn't exactly new, I hope you enjoyed a little exploration on how to make him in a little bit slower, maybe a little more beginner friendly, though I know I'm not particularly beginner friendly. But yeah, in any case, I'm going to get back to filming the next Soul Silver video for anybody who's waiting for it. It's coming next week, probably. But yeah, see you next week. Okay, bye. Whew, I'm tired, but that's because I'm counting sheep. Bridget, you are an excellent pincushion. She's not taking your job. Though you don't have any pins and she has quite a few at the moment. Enough of that. Behave. Here, look. We can share. Ba green sheep. Why so many stitches? This kinda sucks, 'cause trebles are all. Anyway, that's the end of row 12. Now, while I know you can see more than one sheep on the screen, I caution you not to count them, because it's just a risky move. So we get an even distribution. It's a sheep joke. So I'm going to do mine all in green, just because, oh, do I want to use a different colour green? I have a dark green. No, we're going to work all in the same green. We are working in the same green. Now, don't get any ideas there, mister. No snacking on your buddy. Bah. Yeah, you're a bad girl. Oh, they're ear warmers. Look, the weather is cold, but that's ridiculous. So then row 7 is 30 single crochet around us. So then row 7 is 7. All my pins are in Pokemon once again, so that's it. That's all I can pin. There you go, Torty.
We good?